Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? It's been a very long time since we've seen each other. I hope everybody is safe and staying inside. So, welcome to my dining room, which will also be our virtual classroom from now on when we're doing math. So, once again, this is my dining room, or pretty much this is going to be our new classroom. So, I'm sorry that you can't all see my face at the moment. It's difficult for me to flip the camera around to be able to show my face and still show you our lesson at the same time. Hopefully I can fix it to where I can show you my face, then flip it around to show you the lesson. Matter of fact, let me see if I can. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Okay, but I think we'll be okay for today. So let's go ahead and get started with our very first virtual math lesson. So our lesson for this week is about volume. So you're probably wondering what volume is. I'm going to go ahead and show you on our chart. What is volume? Volume is a measure of how much space an object takes up. So pretty much that's the definition of volume. So if I wanted to know how much space that this box of Welch's fruit snacks can hold, then basically I want to know the volume of this box. Or right here I have this Minute Maid carton. If I want to know how much space is inside of this Minute Maid, the measure of how much space is inside this Minute Maid carton is the volume. Or if I wanted to know how much space that this empty milk container holds, then pretty much I'm wanting to know what the volume of this milk carton is. So pretty much that's what the volume is. Once again, it's a measure of how much space an object takes up. So we're going to go ahead today. So to help us get an understanding of how to measure volume, what I'm going to do is this. Right here, we are going to use these blocks that I have right here. We're going to use these blocks to build a house, and we're going to use these blocks to help us figure out the volume of the house, or how much space would be inside of this house. So each of these, of course, these are blocks. These are clay blocks. I couldn't find anything harder, so this is the best I can do. So each of these blocks are about 1 inch on all sides. So pretty much roughly about 1 inch from one edge to the other, one side to the other. So to build my house, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this grid. And I'm going to go ahead and shade this in. This is our base. So this is for... Yeah. So this is the base of our house, or this is the floor of our house. And before we go ahead and build our house, let me show you this chart. We're going to use this chart to also help us measure the volume of our house, or determine how much space is inside of our house. So as we build this house, we're going to write down the length. We're going to write down the width of the house. We're going to write down the height. Then we're going to write down the volume, or the total number of cubes. So let's go ahead and build our house. So I'm going to place a block here, 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 and I'm going to place a block right here. So when you look at the house so far, what do you notice? Here's my question. This is going to be our length. This is going to be our width. And how tall the blocks are is going to be our height. So this is our length. What is our distance from here to here? How long is it from here to here? Remember, once again, each side is about 1 inch. So This would be 1 inch, 2 inch. So the length of our house is 2 inches. So let's go ahead and write 2 inches on the board. Excuse me. Okay. Now let's go back and look at the width. So we said this is a length. This is the width. So from here to here is the width. So we all said, once again, each side is about 1 inch. So this would be 1 inch, 2 inch. So let's go ahead and write 2 inches for our width. Let me fix that too. Now let's look at our height. And once again, our height, that's how tall the house is. So we said the blocks are about 1 inch on all sides. So from here to here would be 1 inch. So it's 1 inch high. So it's 2 inches long, 2 inches wide, 1 inch high. Now we're going to find our volume. What is our total number of cubes? Once again, they're 1 inch on all sides. So this is our length, this is our width, this is our height. Let's look at how many cubes we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that tells us that the volume of this house is 4 cubic inches. So when we're measuring by volume, we always say cubic. It's like if you're measuring area, you say square. So when we say volume, we say say cubic. So you can say cubic inches, cubic centimeters, cubic feet. So this 3 at the here lets us know that that we're measuring the volume. Once again, we're measuring in cubic inches. So if the length of the house is 2 inches long, 2 inches wide, and 1 inch high, that means that the size of our house is 4 cubic inches. Now, I think I want to make my house a little bit taller. So let's go ahead and add another floor. Let's go ahead. Now, when you look at our house, what do you think the volume of our house is going to be? Well, let's go back and look at our chart. Let's go ahead and fill in our chart. So this is the length, this is the width, and from the bottom to the top is our height. So let's look at our length. This is our length from here to here. We said each cube on all sides is about 1 inch. So this would be 1 inch, 2 inches. So it's 2 inches long. Let's look at our width. How wide is our house? From here to here is 1 inch. So 1 inch, 2 inch. So let's go ahead and write 2. It's 2 inches wide. Excuse me. Now let's look at our height. How tall is our house? Remember, we said there are 1 inch on all sides. So when we didn't have these blocks up here, it was just 1 inch, but now we have a second layer. So from here to here will be 1 inch. Matter of fact, I can put it a little closer. From here to the middle will be 1 inch, 2 inch. Let's try it again. 1 inch, 0, 1 inch, 2 inches. So the height of our new house is 2 inches high. Now let's look at our volume. If it's 2 inches long, 2 inches wide, 2 inches high, how many blocks do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means the volume of our house is 8 cubic inches. And once again, we write that 3 to let us know that this is in cubic inches. So if our house is 2 inches long, 2 inches wide, and 1 inch high is 4 cubic inches. If it's 2 inches long, 2 inches wide, 2 inches high, then it is 8 cubic inches. But now, I think I want to make this house a little bit taller. I think I want to add a third level. So now, let's go ahead and add another level of blocks. And these blocks are also 1 inch on all sides and all edges. So now, once again, we're going to measure the length, we're going to measure the width, and we're going to measure the height. So here is the length of our house. From here to here, 1 inch, 2 inch. So let's write 2 inches on our board. It's 2 inches long. Let's look at the width. From here to here, 1 inch, 2 inch. So it's 2 inches wide. Now let's see what our new height is. Our new height from the bottom to the top, 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches tall, 3 inches high. So, if the length of this new house is 2 inches long, 2 inches wide, and 3 inches high, what do you think the new volume is? I think you can look at the pattern and kind of get an idea. But just to be sure, I think you already know what the answer is, but just to be sure, let's go ahead back to the house and let's see how many cubes there are. Remember, all of these cubes are 1 inches all around on all sides. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So our new house is 12 cubic inches. Now I want everybody to look at this chart. And I want everybody to take a very close look. And I want everybody to look and see, what pattern do you notice when you look at this chart? Now, one pattern you might notice is that every time I raise the height of our new house by 1 inch, you may notice that it starts at 4 cubic inches, 8 cubic inches, 12 cubic inches. Now, that is one thing you might notice because they're all increasing by 3. So 4, 8, 12. But there's one more thing I also want you to look at. I want you all to look at the very first row where the first house we built, where it was 2 inches long, 2 inches wide, and 1 inch high. Look at that first row. What do you notice? Take a minute. Well, one thing you might notice is this. If you look at this row, you might notice this. We have 2, we got 2, we got 1, we got 4. Let's try this. Matter of fact, let me get my pencil. What is 2 times 2? 2 times 2 equals 4. What's 4 times 1? 4 times 1 equals 4. Let's look at this second row. The second house was 2 inches long, 2 inches wide, 2 inches tall, or 2 inches in height. And it was 8 cubic inches. You might notice the same thing you notice up front, up in the first row, in the first house we built. 2 times 2 equals 4. Oh, wait a minute. What is 4 times 2? 4 times 2 equals 8. Look at the third row. Let's try the same thing. 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 times 3 equals 12. So you'll notice when you look, the length, the width, and the height, when you multiply all 3 of these numbers together, you get the total volume. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 times 3 equals 12. So to find the volume of an object, to find the volume of, basically, if you're looking for the volume of a, put my box up again. If you're looking for the volume of a rectangular prism or a box, you're going to take the length, the width, and the height, and you're going to multiply all 3 of those numbers together. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and remove this. I wanted to show this later. Sorry. And this is your formula. Go ahead and write this down. The length times the width times the height equals the volume. Or to simplify it, L times W times H equals volume. And once again, this is only, this is how you find the volume for a cube or rectangular object. If you're trying to find the volume of like a cylinder or a triangular prism, this formula doesn't work. This formula only works if you're trying to find the volume of a cube or rectangular prism. So if you wanted to use, you could use this formula to find the size of this box. Let me see. Trying to find something else. Mouse. If I wanted to find the volume of these queso dominoes, I can also use that formula: length times width times height. But if I wanted to find the volume of this milk container, I cannot do it. Or if I wanted to find the volume of this vase, I cannot use this formula. So once again, if I wanted to find the volume of this vase, or if I wanted to find the volume of this milk carton, I would have to use a totally different formula. So once again, here is the formula. And once again, this is our chart. They're helping us find the volume of our house. So once again, if you want to find the volume of the house, take the length, multiply the length, the width, and the height, and then that would give you the total volume. So let me go back and look at our fruit snack box one more time. If I wanted to find the volume of this box, I would take the length. First, I would find out the length. After I find out the length, I would find out the width. And then after I find out the width, I would measure the height. So I would take the length, multiply that by the width, and then multiply that by the height. And then that would give me the total volume of this box. And I might try that. We might try that in a later lesson. So I'm going to stop this video. This is part 1. Part 2 is going to come up in a moment. In part 2, I'm going to show you another activity, finding the volume. So I will talk to you all in the next video.